Alright, so I almost forgot to start filming before I replaced the sunroof assembly. So I got the motor, the whole kit right there, taken from another car. Some of the inside bits, a gear, and I got both the gears actually in a bag full of goodies that I took everything off another car, and we're gonna put it in this one. As you can see right now, it does not have the assembly. It's just got vice grips on the cable that you twist, and something in here has broken because I cannot put the sunroof back up. So before I get too far, let me show you what I did. To get to these, you pull out these tabs right here. That gets this loose so you can access inside here. This is where your motor should be. You can see where it mounts right there and somewhere else, but I'll find that in a bit. Once you get to this part, these are all screws. There they are. So unscrew this just enough to get that loose so we can get this top piece out. And there's 3 screws on that, so 1, 2, 3, and then we got 2 up top. So I got 1 here. This, you can see this is where I remembered. Oh yeah, I should video. 1 there and 1 over there. So we're going to get going on this. So I'll back those out and then we should be able to see the assembly underneath. Okay, so my close-up camera, it's a little busted, it looks like. It's not good. But here you go. This is what we're looking at. And we got some screws we need to take off to get this cover off. And from there, we can see our gears, where the cable's running through. So we should be able to take those out, see what's broken, replace it. I'm going to have to replace the whole cable, which is running through here. So I'm hoping I don't have to take my fabric out. I really don't want to take the fabric out. I want to keep that intact and nice and not have to 3M spray it back up there. All right, so anyway, here we go. Let's see if you can. Oh man, I'm sorry, my camera's jacked up, but you can kind of see. Let me get the sun out of your eyes. All right, there we go. Yeah, sweet. That's it right there. So we got those 2 main bolts. I don't know if I gotta take all those little ones out or not, but we'll find out together, won't we? And this is my problem. This is stuck and will not go back up and lock. So something in both of these is messed up. All right, so got a Allen head bit here, and that's all that's on here. So we just kind of fit it in. Get that one loose. It's hard to do with one hand, but I'll get the other one out too. Okay, so I took the 5 screws off there to get that little plastic plate off right there. And that gave me access to the arm. So I was able to pull the arm off the teeth right there, get it out of the way. Yeah. And we can see our gear here, which looks like the gear is actually pretty good. You can see that rides on the cable right there. So the cable twist, which turns this, which turns that, which moves that up. But right now twisting the cable does nothing. So I'm starting to think it's probably my cable that's bad. So I'm thinking the cable has broken somewhere. So I'm gonna pull this tooth out, or this gear out. Yeah, it looks like it's actually in good shape. So we'll probably put this one back in. It looks better than the other one, but I do have a extra now. And we'll take these out so that we should be able, once I get the other one out too, should be able to slide that cable out and hopefully slide the new unit back in. All right, let me get the other side. Okay, so here's the other one. Got the screws out, so we'll pop that off. Boop. And you can see the arm here, it's stuck on the teeth. So we'll pull the arm out, got it free. All right, and we got the gear. So we'll pull the gear out. Being a little stubborn. So for the other one, I took these out, these bottom bolts. I don't know that we really need to take those out. So it loosens the whole bracket, which I might have to do when it comes to getting the cable out. Well, we'll see. I think I'm going to try to leave this one in place and see if maybe I didn't need to pull that out after all. I don't know. We will find out shortly. So it looks like to be able to get that cable out, I probably need to take this loose right here also. And that should unclip it from there. So I don't know, I might get a little tug and see if it's free now. I'll let you know what I discover. All right, so here we are. I managed to get the whole assembly off. So you can see here, this piece right here sits inside right here, and this sits up here. So you've got this little bracket that holds, and it's got these little grooved nuts on it. See the groove that slides in there, and that hooks to this bracket on the back side. You can kind of see where, yeah, right there. So see the grooves on the side. Trying to get you in the light a little better. So this bracket slides into those grooves. You can kind of see it right there, how that one is. So you see that nut that retains with the groove on it. So if you take out these bottom bolts, loosen that whole thing. We unbolt, had to back those out completely where I could slide it off. I slid that bracket out. Woohoo! So there it is, it's free from this piece. And then I was able to, having to work around the roll cage here. Then I was able to basically pull this out and then slide this that way. So I'm gonna need to do it to this side too. I'm taking this whole assembly apart because this saw has got to travel that way through the housing and tubing, and it's not going to do that if it's fixed, stuck in this. All right, so part of the reason I do these videos is so I have video and I can go back later when I'm trying to put all these bits back together and be like, where did that go? All right, so anyway, let me do the other side and then hopefully we can slide everything through. All right, so I did more steps than I needed to. I just loosened these two right here, and look, now I can slide this bracket out like that. And I can get it loose. Maybe not with one hand, I might need two hands to do this. But I can pop this out. So if I pop this out right here, then I can basically pull the cable down and pull this out. So then it's out of the way. So I really don't need to take these off completely, just kind of loosen them a little bit. So there you go. You can save a step, unlike me. But when I put them back in, I'll probably put this bracket on first and then slide this into place. All right, here's my least favorite part of this job, but I had to take this loose so that we could see up in here. Sure enough, look at that. Got a zip tie holding things up, so I could not feed it through, and I had to figure out why. Saw something poking through right there, and there it is. So the way to do this, little razor blade right along the edge right here, and you can see at some point this is like 3M spray right here. So hopefully once we're all done, we got that cover piece that covers this whole section up. You know, so this isn't going to be all that visible. Just try not to go all the way that way and start messing with your headliner. You don't want to do that. But this will all be covered with the cover piece. So at the end, once everything's back in place, we'll come back with some 3M spray tack all this back up again, and then it'll be covered with that piece. So we should still look very nice. But there we go. There's the reason we couldn't get free, and we had to figure that out. So I don't think that's factory. I think someone did that. So maybe yours won't be that way, or maybe it will. It might need to be that way. So I'm gonna cut that loose and start trying to feed it that way. All right, broke that free, and now I'm able to get this free. So this was just kind of up, fed up in that little hole there where the drain goes, and it's just a dead end, you know. So it's got this foam piece, it spins inside of it, and so that's free. Looks like we're free. So maybe now we can start working our way down that pillar and out the back down there. Okay, so the old cable is out, and you can see it basically travels through these pipes like this one. This one's kind of wonky up in there, but you can bend them a little bit. I wasn't too worried about this one because we're not using that again. Now we gotta feed this through that path, and once we get it through, we'll try to slide it on through. This is the, I didn't have this half on this contraption, so actually I kind of do over there, but I think we're gonna use this one, the one that just came off. So we'll slide it on that end once we get it kind of fed through, and we'll try to get everything back in place again. And then we just start putting it back together, and this is probably where I watch a YouTube video or two and make sure that I'm doing this the right way. So anyway, we know we got to feed it back through, so we'll start with that. All right, as you can imagine, trying to feed that cable back through there is kind of difficult, especially with this pipe right here. So what I did was I took the old cable, fed it through the top, because that's easy to come down here, and now I'm zip tying the old cable to the new cable, and I'm going to use that to pull it up and through and out the top. So once we get out the top, we should be able to work the rest of it in there. So I'll clip these little ends and then see if we can't start threading it through. All right, didn't even need to clip them, just push it on through. That worked great. So now you can see, just got to get the rest, which is a little bit harder. This is the hard pipe. And we'll start kind of working it on up and seeing if we can't, you know, clear this stuff right here and get things moving. You're gonna have to grunt a little bit. All right, so a couple grunts and some pulls from that direction. We should get this in place. All right, so got it threaded through there. Got our motor in place, so you can see where it mounts. I figured it out right here. So I'm gonna crank it on down, one up there, and then we got a bolt. See if you can see that. Bolt down right there. That's it down there. So I'll tighten that down. Then all we gotta do once that's secure is plug into the plug. There you go. I've already tested it, so this motor works. Then we gotta put all the bits together on the other side. But this is a big accomplishment right here. Feeling good. Okay, well now that's bolted in and all that's good to go. Now we need to we got our cable here, and we're gonna need to slide all the other bits back on it. So I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on the cable, help slide things in place, and it does a lot of moving around in there anyway, so some grease ain't gonna hurt us. And what we'll do is, it's getting a little late for me tonight, and I don't want to get that messy, so I'm going to call it a night. And in the morning, I'm going to come back. We're going to grease this thing, put it back together. I'll put an ice pack on my back, and I'll be good to go. All right, here we go. So a little bit of grease on the cable. This thing slid right on, super easy. And I went ahead and turned on, so I pulled I've got my fuel rail out right now, so I pulled my DME relay out so I'm not shooting gas everywhere. And just ran the cable full length. So we got the cable all the way down here now. And if you look at the end here, you see that little bar? That's like stops it from going any further. So this thing basically just lives inside this cavity up here. So we're gonna get our pieces back in play. I'm gonna put this, route it back in here like it's supposed to go. And then we'll work on, once we get all those bits back in place, we'll work on getting it fully retracted and getting our arms where they're at their lowest point. Because I believe that we're gonna bottom it out, get them at their lowest point where it's not engaging the roof, and then hopefully we'll sort all that out. I think I watched a couple videos, so hopefully we'll get it figured out. Either way, you should be seeing this if I did figure it out. So here we go. Okay, so there we go. We're back in place. You can see that this is pretty much lined up. Back in the center where this little clip's gonna go. So I'm gonna start trying to work that piece. There it is. Right there. Back into place. And we'll just start going reverse of what we did to get to this point. All right, we're back. And I want to show you where I'm at so far. All right, so slid this piece on the bracket behind the cable, mounted the bolts right here. When you put this back in, and I realize now I'm missing a little piece right there. That's unfortunate. But it's just like a little retaining piece, and you can see it on this side too. When you fit them back, you see how they're grooved? You got a little notch right there. You want to fit that plastic piece back in that groove, and that's going to help hold everything. I'm not worried about that. I've got these 2 screws in. Also, here's a public service announcement for you. If you drop one of these little screws in the back of your 944, there's actually a rift in space and time back here somewhere, and if this falls, it's gone forever. All right, you will watch it bounce on the back seat and just vanish before your eyes. You will never see it again. So don't drop these, or else they will go into an alternate dimension and you will never see them again. Fortunately for me, I scavenged the whole set from the car I pulled this from. So I had 4 of these extra, and I've already lost 2 of them. So maybe one day they will re-emerge. But for now, I'm gonna put this last one in right here, and then we'll start getting the rest. All right, here's a good wire edit when you're doing this kind of job. You can see right here, we have these hoses coming from our sunroof gutter. That is your drain. So if your hose looks sus, or if you've been getting water down in the well, probably this. You've either got a crack in it or it's disconnected down here. So down here we saw, let's see if I can find it. There it is. All right, so I don't have it hooked up right now, but you see that little junction piece? I had to remove the hose to, I didn't really have to do it. I just did. I'm gonna put it back though. But anyway, that is probably why you're leaking. So if you don't want to have leaks, make sure you hook all your hoses back up. Make sure they're in good shape. This is a good time to do that, because you don't want to have to pull all your headliner and everything again. It's a nightmare. All right, the gears are in. I put a lot of grease on them because a lot of moving bits. There's a little washer on the back, don't forget that. And I greased the back side too, because it's gonna do some spinning in that pocket. So there we go. Next, I think we need to put the arms on, and then we need to put the case back on. All right, before we put the arms in, we want to make sure that this is all the way down. And I don't think it is right now, so I actually extended it. So we want to make sure our sunroof is going down. So look at that. It'll be all the way. There we go. All right, so we're all the way down right now. And I'm going to also put an accessory, which I'm not sure how that works, because I'm going to have to push on that clip. I guess I can let the arms down without pushing on this button. But one of the hacks is, if your arms aren't working, this is your switch, so you probably need to push that button And then with your other finger, push your switch, which I'm probably gonna have to do to get it so that it's in the position where it's pulled the pins all the way back. So I'm not sure if I can do that with my hand holding a phone. But basically, we're gonna be in accessory position. So the first click, not the second. We're going to push the switch to let it know that the sunroof's in. We're going to lie to it. And then we're going to do the open position, so the bottom, and it should pull it back. Let me see if I can do it holding you. See if we can hear it. Oh, it actually went too far. All right, so interesting. Let me see if it does it with. Yeah, so mine is actually just doing whatever it wants. It is pulling it all the way back. Interesting. All right. All right, so pretty sure, I think I know why it's doing that. So right now I've got it set as low as I can where it's just engaging this gear, you know, so it's still engaging it, and we'll put the arms in, and there's actually a clutch on the motor back there, so when it hits resistance on that arm, that clutch should engage and it should stop, you know, or it should quit. Otherwise, if it doesn't, we're going to strip out these little plastic gears, and we don't want to do that. So I want to call a buddy, get some reassurance, and go from there. All right, so I've put this in the bottomed out position. This is where it's like just engaging. So I want to say, I'm not sure if that's the right thing we did or not, but I might look at something else real quick. All right, a rare moment of ingenuity. I've come up with a way to operate this camera and the switches at the same time. My little centerpiece is broken here, so I could pull this off with a chip clip. All right, we're gonna test it real quick. So what I'm gonna do, make sure our positions are working. Did some reading up on Clark's garage. So this should be fully open. Stop, good. Fully closed. Stop, good. And I can see right now I'm missing some foam, so I can see the cable still there. It's not fully retracted. And then position 1, if we go fully retracted, it stops. So all 3 positions are working, and that should be the bottom. That's like sunroof ready to be pulled out. So now I think I can put the arms in. Okay, now that we're sure we're in position, the bottom position, so this is our bottom setting, putting the arm all the way down, fully retracted, and we're putting, setting it in place, this little pin pointing outward on each side, looking at the sunroof. That's where that little lip is, so that needs to go that way. So bottom position on each side. There's also a little washer in here, so you want to make sure that's in there. And we're going to put this back into place. There we go. All right, now 5 screws, putting that back, and then we'll test some things. All right, now we're ready to test. So this should be locking position. Look at that. Oop. Aim. Yeah, it's in locking position. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna go position 2. And let's go. Let me take you up here so you can see a little better. Go up with the arm. Oh, up, sweet. Let's go down. We're back in that locking position. Turn off. We're going to position 1. And we're going to go to unlock. Boom. We're good to go. Let's get the roof back in. All right, I have dropped the sunroof back in. So if you haven't done this before, you know you've got that little visor thing right there. You kind of angle that back this way. It's easier to do with two people, but you can do it by yourself. Just prove that. The car is filthy. Ignore that. Needs a bath. You slide it in. That visor will like go inside the sunroof right here. There's a little groove. Latches in place. Pushing everything down. And now we're ready to see if it locks, raises, and closes. Okay, more moment of truth. Keys would be helpful. All right, so position 1. Okay. And we're going to lock it back. So here we go. All right, it's locked. Now, let's test it out. Position 2. Let's raise this bad boy. Look at that. Let's close this bad boy. Done. Mission success. If I can do it, so can you. All right, now the sunroof is working and fixed and we're all good. It's time for some cleanup. It's a little 3M spray, like this. I'm gonna spray the back of that fabric, and I'm gonna spray this top part here. Might need to clean it up a little bit, but might could get some of the big chunks off, but really I'm just need it to stick back up. And then we're gonna put that cover back over it, so that should all be buttoned up and looking good. And then clean up this plastic piece that I have to cover the motor, and we'll button all this back up. So basically just kind of reverse. The screws go back in, the panel pieces snug back up again. We're gonna take it away from this hideous state it's in, back into its beautiful glory. All right, as I wrap this up, I figured this might be worth noting too, because this gave me a little more trouble than I think it should have. But this is what that cover looks like when it goes back in. And my camera lens must have grease on it. Got the 2 little spots up top where it hooks in, right there. The little circle spot with the line goes on top of that cap that covers the nut for the motor. And then we're just gonna kind of tuck things away and put it back like it's supposed to be. All right, ignore the bed head. I did not deal with that before starting that this morning. Overall, it's a little bit of a pain, but it's not a hard job. If I can do it, then you can definitely do it. Just kind of take your time. I think looks like I was able to succeed. So I tried to give you every little thing I did. So hopefully that helps you as you take this on yourself. And you might be you have a stripped gear, or you might have a bad motor or whatever. This was for replacing that entire assembly. Look, I got some, probably should wear safety glasses when you do this because junk falls in your face. But anyway, if this stuff is helpful for you, I try to do walkthroughs or everything I attempt, and the stuff that goes online is successful, so you can watch it with confidence. And usually I don't think I've ever not succeeded. I've had some bumps along the way, so I'm also able to help you figure out some things you should not do, as well as things you should do. All right, thanks for watching. Subscribe and follow for some more videos.